Before we get into this, there's something you need to understand clearly. What you're about to hear may confront you. It may unsettle you. It may force you to rethink everything you believed about attraction. Because no one talks about this openly. Your friends won't say it. Men avoid it. Society ignores it. And women, especially the ones who already learned it the hard way, will never admit it out loud. But today, we are laying it bare. No sugarcoating. No filters. No protecting anyone's ego. Because if you're an older man, or becoming one, you need to hear the truth without distortion. Women are not drawn to older men for the reasons most guys assume. It's not the number on your birthday cake. It's not your income. It's not even your so-called experience. Those are lies insecure men tell themselves. The real reason, the one hardly anyone is brave enough to say out loud, is deeper, more uncomfortable, and far more powerful. And once you understand it, once it sinks in, once you truly see the psychology behind it, you'll never interact with women the same way again. You'll stop wasting energy. You'll stop chasing. You'll stop trying to impress. Because you'll finally understand why some older men stand out effortlessly, while others are completely overlooked, no matter how hard they try. You'll understand why some men spark instant trust, desire, and respect, and why others trigger the exact opposite. Most importantly, you'll learn the silent test women run every time they meet a man. So if you're ready for a truth most men will never have the courage to confront, keep listening. Because once you hear this, you can't unhear it. When people hear women don't want older men because of age, most don't understand what that actually means. Because age, by itself, is meaningless. It's just the earth spinning around the sun while you remain the same person. Women aren't attracted to the calendar. They're attracted to what a man builds during those years. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because too many men grow older, but never grow up. They age but don't evolve. They survive years without learning from them. They go through hardships but never transform from them. Women don't want a man who simply lived longer. They want the man who used time wisely. The man who looked life in the face. The pain, the failures, the heartbreaks, and turned all of it into wisdom. Not bitterness. Not excuses. Not regret. Wisdom. That's the difference. The older man women desire is the man who didn't run from challenges, but studied them. Who didn't collapse under pressure, but grew from it. Who didn't stay blind to his flaws, but worked on them relentlessly. This man is attractive not because of age, but because of intentional evolution. Most men spend their 20s and 30s trying to impress everyone. Chasing validation, chasing attention, chasing status. Then they hit their 40s and wonder why nobody admires them. It's not the age. It's the lack of depth. Time only becomes magnetic when you've used it well. Women are drawn to the man who carries his years like a library of lessons, not a suitcase of regrets. He walks differently, because he knows the cost of moving without purpose. He speaks differently, because he understands the damage of careless words. He loves differently, because he knows the difference between clinging and connecting. He doesn't need to be the loudest man in the room. His energy arrives before he does. This is the man women trust without being told. This is the man they open up to without fear. This is the man who calms their nervous system. Not because he's older, but because he's mastered himself. Women don't feel safe with a man because he talks confidently. They feel safe because he is confident. Women don't fall for a man because he says he's mature. They fall because his actions show he's unshakable. Women don't desire a man because he has muscles or money. They desire him because his energy is steady, grounded, and self-controlled. Modern dating has confused everyone. Women don't want older. They want evolved. Not a man with age, but a man with inner order. Not a man with experience, but a man with understanding. Not a man who survived life, but a man who learned from it. That is the difference between a forgettable man and the man she cannot get out of her head. Presence doesn't come from talking. It comes from knowing yourself so deeply that you don't need anything from anyone. Not their approval. Not their attention. Not their validation. This is why wealthy men often still feel invisible. This is why handsome men lose to more grounded men. Presence cannot be bought or faked. It's earned. It's the way you breathe. The way you look at her. The way you stay centered when life hits hard. The way your emotions don't spill everywhere. Women pick up on this instantly. They feel the difference between a man seeking reassurance and a man who carries his own certainty. A lot of men age but remain emotionally chaotic. They confuse impulsiveness with passion, loudness with confidence, attention with connection. These men become exhausting to be around. A woman can never relax around a man she cannot predict. She cannot trust a man who erupts under pressure. She cannot open up to a man she must emotionally babysit. Stability is not boring. It is the foundation of desire. A woman cannot surrender emotionally or physically to a man she does not trust. Trust is not built with words. It's built with consistency, composure, and emotional self-control. You can tell everything about a man by how he responds under pressure. Does he lash out? Does he panic? Does he shut down? Or does he remain aware, deliberate, and steady? Women don't evaluate this consciously. It's instinct. It's biological. They're reading your internal leadership. A man who cannot regulate himself cannot lead anything. But a man who understands himself, his triggers, his patterns, his emotions, becomes unforgettable. His depth doesn't come from being complicated, but from being conscious. This man becomes a calm shelter in a chaotic world. And women don't forget that feeling. Self-mastery is what separates the attractive older man from the bitter older man. One tries to control everything outside himself. The other masters what's within. And women can feel the difference immediately. Depth is seductive, not because it's mysterious, but because it's rare. You didn't just go through life. You grew through it. You didn't just get hurt. You healed. You didn't just age. You evolved. That's what she feels. That's what draws her in. That's what makes her trust you. A woman doesn't fall for the man who looks strong. She falls for the man who is strong. Internally, emotionally, spiritually. And that has nothing to do with age. Everything to do with transformation.